Hi, folks. I'm back for another movie review tonight. Can you believe that? Ooh, look at this. Look at this, folks. Look at this, ladies. Look at this. This is the real deal here, ladies. First, I want to dedicate this to Kara C. Kara, I love you, hon. Contact me, please. Anyway, we're going to talk about a very special movie tonight. Oh, just a spider web full of laughs. It's good to be back. This is about my maybe my fourth or fifth webcast in the last 2-3 weeks, and I'm kind of on a roll. You gotta admit, ladies, I do look good. Come on now, y'all know I look good. You just won't admit it. Yes. Okay. Enough of that. Enough of that self-plugging there. We're gonna talk about a really special movie tonight. I think we reviewed a couple of these other prequels prior to this review tonight. And this one we're going to talk about, okay, remember we talked about Return of the Living Dead, the original Return of the Living Dead, a classic. Then we had the follow-up Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which is actually, I think, a pretty good movie. We're going to talk about Part 3 tonight. This one is Return of the Living Dead Part 3. Oh, yes. Isn't that a nice cover? That's Melinda Clarke, of course, on the cover, and y'all know her. She's the one that just, well, whatever. We'll get into the review in a second. Anyway, there it is. There it is. See? The front cover, Return of the Living Dead Part 3. Now, this movie came out in 1993, and this one's a little more to, no, the first two movies were basically comedy. It had like, James Karen and was Tom, whatever his name was, reprising the roles from the first movie and stuff like that. Those movies were based on comedy. Of course, they got the Sludge, the Tar Man, of course, from the first movie, and then he appears in the second movie, But, I kind of like the second movie, too. I like the first movie a lot, but I think the second movie is pretty good, too. But this one is a little less comedic. Let's just call it that. A little less comedic. This one basically is a little more hardcore and to the point. It's basically about Melinda Clarke. She and her boyfriend, I can't remember his name, is Trevor or something. They portray, a young 18-year-old couple, who are basically, are madly in love, of course, And of course, McCord is in this movie. He plays Trevor's father. You remember him. He's been in tons of movies. He was in Adam 12. He is Martin Milner's partner in Squad Car in Adam 12. Remember that show? Way back in the 70s or something like that? Anyway, he portrays this colonel and at this top secret laboratory, military laboratory, of course, duh, and they're always messing around with 2,4,5-trioxin, which is the chemical that basically reanimates the dead. Ooh, the dead. The ones that want brains. They don't care about your flesh. They just want your brains. Anyway, so this movie kind of it's not really a sequel to those movies. It's kind of like on its own, Part 3. And so basically, they're basically a young couple, Melinda Clarke and Trevor. And so, of course, Trevor's father is Kent McCord. He portrays the military commander in this top research facility. I don't know where it is. Area 51. Who fucking knows? Who knows? They're trying to reanimate. It's biowarfare. That's what we're really talking about here. He's trying to reanimate the dead so they can go into battle. Oh boy, how original is that? The military always sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. Trying to get the upper hand on all the other countries. This one really doesn't have much humor in it, folks. It basically is pretty grim and right to the point. And so, anyway, he's the commander there, and he's experimenting with all kinds of, dead corpses and stuff like that, bringing them back to life and, putting exoskeletons on them and stuff like that and trying to, control them like you can really control zombies. I mean, really, seriously, folks. It all fails in the end, of course, because it's, that's just what nature is. It just fails in the end. Oh, anyway, so what happens is that Melinda, we'll just call her Melinda and Trevor. They basically sneak into the, because he has Trevor has his father's password card, you know, the swiper. They basically sneak in one night and they see what's going on. They're reanimating the dead and everything, you know, and and so they're just freaked out, and they basically take off. They almost get caught by security guards. It's a really high tech facility, you know, lots of security and stuff like that, you know. Oh, it's a secret base. Anyway, no, don't get me wrong, folks. I like this movie a lot, but it's a lot different than part one and part two. And so basically, you know, of course, Camp McCord, Trevor's father, doesn't like his girlfriend, you know. And anyway, they barely get out of the facility after witnessing the zombies coming back to life, you know, the dead corpses. And so basically they're on Trevor's motorcycle. They're going down the road, something, you know, somewhere out in the boondocks, whatever it might be, you know. And so, you know, unfortunately, that was the last ride she was ever going to take because she's messing around on the bike. He's trying to control the bike. And of course, they almost get hit by a big semi truck. And she goes flying off the bike and cracks her face or head up against a telephone pole. It breaks her neck, basically. So he's complete, you know, he's all hurt and everything. And he just crawls over to her, basically. And he kind of, you know, gets the stupid idea of bringing her back to the facility and spraying the 2,4,5 Trixin on her and to bring her back to life. Oh, what a horrible mistake that was, because the whole movie is just tragic, you know. It's exactly what you might think, you know. So he brings her back, sprays her with it, barely gets out because there's other zombies there who are trying to attack him and stuff, you know, and it's just a mess, you know. It's got some. This is really a much more gory and bloody movie compared to number one and number two. It's got more. It's really more. It's kind of really depressing, really, folks. It's you know, there's not much comedy in this movie. I don't think there's any comedy in this movie. Tell you the truth, I don't think there's any comedy. It's just you know, it's just a tragic movie from start to finish. But it's well done. The zombies are kind of stupid. They don't really talk so much. They're just kind of like, you know, just walking around looking stupid and breaking apart and stuff. They're really disgusting. In the facility, the top research military facility. You know, I don't mean to make light of that. It's just so stupid, you know. It's just stupid. I'm sure that crap is going on anyway, but you know, it's just, you know, it's just these idiots who try to do this kind of stuff are just complete fucking idiots. You know, they should just let things be and let nature be and just forget about this kind of warfare shit and just get on with life, you know. Anyway, back to the movie before I step on somebody, you know, step on some toes, some activist toes. Like I really care. Anyway, so of course he drags her back to the base. He sprays her with it. And then of course she starts twitching again. She comes back to life. Of course, there's a bad side effect. She's actually dead, but she can talk and everything. She knows who he is and everything. And she's still in love with him, and he's in love with her. And so what happens is that as the movie goes along, she needs to feed. And the only thing that gets rid of her pain, as you know, zombies in the first two, they need to eat brains because it kills some kind of pain in their body. Apparently when you're dead, you're in pain. So she basically starts to pierce herself, and I'm sure you've all seen the cover. You've seen this movie a bunch of times. You know, she's piercing her hands and fingers with glass, hunks of glass and wire, and you know, and basically this is what she looks like at the end of the movie. You know, anyway, you know. And there's also a little gang. They go into the store after he's reanimated her, and of course she's trying to find food that'll satisfy her. Of course, she's eating Twinkies and everything, and that's not. She needs meat. That's what she needs with neutrons or neural, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm kind of animated. I'm sorry about that, folks. And so. And so, of course, they piss off this little gang. They're playing video games in this little supermarket, like a 7-Eleven or something. And of course, she bites one of the. There's like 3 guys and 1 girl. She bites a guy's arm, you know. And of course, he's infected, you know. And of course, you know, Trevor and Melinda, they flee, and of course these two are the gang is after them, you know. And they basically just, you know, there's all kinds of other little side stories where, you know, of course the shop owner has been shot and he basically gets he gets chowed on by Melinda Clarke. Of course, he comes to life and half his head is gone. It's pretty cool looking. He comes out of this van. These two cops have got this their guns on this van where they're trying to find Trevor and Melinda because they're actually wanted, for breaking into this top research facility. So they're wanted by the law. And of course, he comes out with this crowbar. He's missing top of his head. It's pretty gross, man. And he's infected. He's dead. And of course, they barely escape, and they go down to the river to try to get away from the gang and the police and authorities trying to track them, Melinda and Trevor. And so what happens is they run across the Riverman. I think they just call him Riverman, whatever his name is. Just this one dude who kind of lives in the sewers. He has like a little pad in there with a bed and lights and everything way down in the sewer tunnels and stuff. And and folks, this movie, it's got some really disgusting stuff in it. She's vicious. When she's dead, she just needs to feed constantly, and Trevor doesn't know what to do, and Kent McCord, his father, is out looking for him with the authorities, and before they infect other people. Of course, the gang, the little four-member gang gets all infected by her and everything, because they're all bitten and stuff by her, and they becomes. There's one scene where the head gang guy. Gang dude, he goes into this they finally corner him in the sewer, inside the corridors of the sewer, in this one section that's whatever it is, home, I suppose it's called, by the Riverman. And of course she rips his damn head almost clean off, and his spine is his spine is completely, he's like about 2 feet taller, and his head is connected to his spine, which goes into his body. He's already dead. He's just so stupid looking, and then the girl gets munched on, and they all the four members turn into basically zombies, and they're trying to kill the Trevor and Melinda and stuff like, it's actually a pretty good movie, man. I like this movie, but like I said before, it's very depressing, right to the point. It's got a lot of good gore in it and everything, but it's not a happy movie, folks. It's not meant to be a happy movie. Like I said, the first two movies were basically more comedy and more to the point funny. This movie goes in a whole new direction. It takes the Return of the Living Dead series to a whole different level or different area. That's what I'm really talking about here. Uh, a lot of good people in this movie. Sarah Douglas is in this movie. James Callahan, besides Kent McCord, Melinda Clarke, and a few other well-known B actors. You'll recognize their faces. I can't think of every person's name here, but there's a lot of good people in this movie. It was directed by Brian Yuzna or something like that. You know who he is. He's been in the horror field for a ton of years, decades and decades and decades. And he makes pretty good movies. And so this movie, there's the back cover. There's this where she's in the sewer and she's completely pierced, and she's got things coming out of her arms, hunks of glass through her body and her forearms, and like nails for her fingers, in her. Oh my God, she's just but. That's Melinda, but she is actually still quite beautiful. You know who Melinda Clarke is. She's been in a bunch of movies. She was in Spawn. Remember the movie Spawn back in the early 2000s or late 2000s or something like that? Yeah, she was in Spawn. And she played Martin Sheen's number one henchman. She used to go out and, assassin, what do you want to call her? Melinda Clarke. She's been around. You recognize her instantly, She's got that. She's been in a whole bunch of movies. B actress, good actress. I don't know what else. It's very, very pretty. I like her a lot. This is when she was quite a bit younger, though, 93. So this is 93, 2003. It's like 23 years ago this movie came out, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit and try to tell you every little scene in here, because there's going to be some, because I give away too much, and people kind of have a tendency to go, well, Bradley, whoops, did I say Bradley? Well, Spidey. You just giving away too much information about scenes and everything, and you're spoiling the movie for us. Hey, I sounded like Penny, didn't I? Oh my God. It's rubbing off on me, folks. Oh my God. What is happening to me? I'm starting to imitate Penny. Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm in a good mood tonight, folks. Anyway, you know, God, can I tell you about some other scenes? I mean, the facility itself where Kent McCord, Trevor's father, works is actually pretty disgusting. There's a lot. They're experimenting on zombies. They're trying to make people into some kind of a unbeatable, unstoppable bio weapon. All these poor souls who have died and everything, and they're basically trying to turn them into weapons for the future that can't be stopped in the battlefield. That's really disgusting. Just put them in the graves and let them die peacefully. That's what I say. Don't sit and play games with people after they're dead. You know. Of course, this movie really treads on that area badly. So it's kind of like no morals. Disgusting. These people are not even worthy of being humans. The people that do this kind of stuff in this movie, even I'm not sure if it's real, but it could be real. Anyway, it's a pretty good movie. I do watch this movie on a regular basis. I do like the first two better, like I said before, like I said 80 times before. Correct me, I'm always making mistakes, but I'm doing a pretty good job tonight. Uh, on a rating, I like the first two movies. I would give, I think we gave like an 8 or an 8.5 or a 9 or something. First two movies, my personal pet favorites. I love those two movies. I just think those two movies I watch those two movies all the time. This one, I'm going to give probably only about maybe a 7 or a 6.5, maybe a 7. We'll go 7. 7 Spiderwebs for this movie. But be forewarned, this movie is not like the first two. This is a little more to the point. Like I said before, it's grisly, it's depressing. It's if you're into sadomasochistic type stuff, this is the movie for you. It's self-degrading. Oh my God, it's actually kind of depressing, but it's very well done. I just can't rate it quite as high as the first two movies because the first two movies, like I said, are my favorites of the five different. Actually, there's been 5 of these movies. The fourth movie came out, I'm not sure, maybe in 2000s, and that one was just okay. And then they had number 5, which was Rave to the Grave, or oh God, what the hell was the name of that movie? Oh my God, it was like one of those Rave to the Grave type zombie movies, which is absolutely terrible. I don't know what they really need to do, folks. They really need to do this. Somebody needs to God, I wish I could talk. Can I talk? I don't know if I can talk tonight. I'm bumbling my words. I'm fumbling words. I'm fumbling. Somebody needs to reboot this series. Maybe pick it up from where number 3 left off, this one right here, and try to reanimate this movie. Bad choice of words, but it's really basically what it is. Reanimate the series and try to come up with a fresh new plot and stuff like that. Maybe I like the first two because they had a lot of comedy and there's like stupid late night movies that you'd sit there and watch and you kind of get a chuckle over. I kind of wish they'd go back to that because I kind of like the first two a lot. James Cairn and Clue Gallagher and all those people in the first two movies and stuff like that. It's kind of gone steadily downhill, except this movie's a little bit better than the fourth and fifth movies. I would pass on the fifth movie, especially Rave to the Grave or whatever it's called. And maybe the fourth one ain't too bad. I do have that in my collection. I had Rave to the Grave or whatever. I got rid of it because I thought it was a piece of crap. But the fourth one I still have because I kind of like certain elements of that movie. It was filmed over like Eastern Europe, Romania, or one of those Eastern European countries. The fourth one. But I don't think I should talk about this movie anymore. I think I should just let you find it, watch it, give me your review, your comments about it. But like I said, I do like this movie. That's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 7 Spiderwebs because I do think this movie is a decent movie. Special effects are good. Acting is a little weak, I would say. Uh, Story is basically so-so. Screenplay so-so. Acting, I don't know. It's a decent movie, folks. I mean, if you like zombie movies and stuff like that, this movie will fit perfectly in your collection. I'm sure many of you already have this movie. So, like I said, we're doing this on a 7 Spiderwebs. This is my review. That's my rating. So, take it or leave it. It's in my collection because I think it has some merit. That's why it's in my collection. So we're going to end this review tonight. So you all take care. And I'm going to try to come back and do Return of the Living Dead Part 4 pretty soon and give you my thoughts and views on that one really soon. And some other movies. I got a few other movies and surprises up my sleeve. I don't know if I can get up my sleeve. I don't, anyway, doesn't make any difference. Anyway, we'll see you next time. And remember, watch out for the reanimated dead. They're coming. Bye.